Why would you let him hang around and poach coaching staff and tamper with players?
100%.
If I'm one of the Ole Miss players, you understand the frustration. Your coach just quit on you. We want to jump into Wheel Route here, presented by our friends at the Ohio Sinus Institute, and talk about the most bizarre
the bombshell that is
coaching
Lane
experience. Kiffin. The wild, wild world of Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
because we even coming off the game, we have to talk about this.
Well, and it wasn't even like this was a surprising move. I think every single person already knew that this was a done deal, but there's just so much to it that I have questions on. And one thing that I actually really, really love that I don't feel like a lot of people would have done it this way. But obviously, reports have come out. Lane Kiffin going to be the head coach at LSU. That broke yesterday. I forget what time. It was sometime in the morning. Lane Kiffin tweeted out his whole response. In that, he said that he requested to be able to finish out the year at Ole Miss. They are currently and probably they're going to make the playoffs. They're 11-1, their best season in a really long time, if ever. A historic season for them. A lot of high expectations. And the athletic director said, nah, you're done.
Which is absolutely correct.
Facts.
100%. Why would you let him hang around and poach coaching staff and tamper with players?
100%.
Even if it's not tampering. It'd be like Sharon Moore going to Michigan State, which congrats to them for firing Jonathan Smith after one Big Ten win in his career. It'd be like Sharon Moore going to Michigan State and Ward Manuel goes, well, you could coach in the bowl game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You're going to let that man around Bryce Underwood and try and get him to, it's a nonsensical ask by Lane Kiffin, but nothing about Lane Kiffin makes sense.
No, I don't understand the timing of really a lot of this because there's still so much for that team to play for. I don't know why there was such a rush to get the ink dried on this yet. It felt like if Lane agreed to go to LSU knew that he was going to go. He verbally commits, whatever, and then says, but my thing is I've got to be able to stay through the end of this year. As shady as it is, Ole Miss doesn't have to know a single ounce of that.
And I think Ole Miss is why the ink had to dry on this fast, because they demanded an answer. And I think if it were up to Lane, he would have played his cards, and even this whole, well, I've got to just make a hard decision. I've got to pray about it. I've got to think about it. I'm like, no, what you're doing is you're trying to poach coaching staff right now and trying to drag this thing out. I don't believe that he hadn't made up his mind for a second.
No, no way.
Like I did initially, and then hearing that, well, he's trying to kind of like poach coaches. I'm like, no, he's absolutely knew what he was going to do. I think Ole Miss said, we're not going to let that happen. So you need to just like figure it out now. Yeah. And I think they were more than gracious, letting him do the Egg Bowl, get through that. And the players on Ole Miss, I mean, understandably so. There's a point in which I understand for Lane Kiffin, you have to make the move that you feel like is going to be best for you, for your family, for whatever. I in one sense, don't begrudge that. But I also, if I'm Trinidad Chambliss or I'm one of these Ole Miss players, that's the only Ole Miss player I know. If I'm one of the Ole Miss players, you understand the frustration. Your coach just quit on you. Best season in Ole Miss history, your coach just quit. And if you think that doesn't light a fire under Ole Miss that they didn't already have, Ole Miss just became an even more difficult out than they were already going to be.
100%.
By the way, in case you were curious, LSU goes to Ole Miss next year. The game's in Oxford.
Whatever day that lands on.
Circle it.
Do not have a wedding that day. Don't invite me to anything that day.
Just go ahead and cancel all plans for 2026 until we know what day that game is.
From basically the middle of September until the end of January. Don't invite me to stuff on a Saturday. I just ain't going to be there.
This should not be new information.
I actually love what Ole Miss did, though, by playing that hand, because I feel like that's not the norm, and it should be. Because a lot of people, I saw this all over social media, where people were kind of half and half on this was the right call, they should have played their hand, and then the other side that are idiots and were saying they should have just let him finish out the year, now we're screwed, all that. I like that they played the hand of, we already know what you're doing, we're not going to let you completely leave us a dumpster fire, so just go on ahead and get. And I love that. I feel like you don't see that kind of a backbone in college football now, where the big names are the ones that get to be the decision makers, that get to hold all the weight.
Yep.
Ole Miss took the reins back a little bit and said, yeah, we've got a game plan, and you saw that because the same day they end up promoting the defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, to the head coach position. Not even like an interim thing.
Yeah, just say, this is the guy.
Handed right over. Programs don't just do that on a whim. Yep. This is something they had thought long and hard about when Lane Kiffin goes, which was probably inevitable anyways at some point. They had a game plan ready. They had been thinking through this. I understand Lane Kiffin leaving. LSU, I think, by name alone, is a bigger program. It's not even close.
It's probably the top job in college football.
I don't even know if it's close.
One of the top three.
I don't even know if it's close. Yeah. It's the top job in college football.
It's the top opening right now, for
top
sure.
opening. The NIL deal that LSU is going to be able to bring in to help him get players there. You're playing in the SEC still. I mean, it checks all the boxes for a guy wanting to be an elite level coach. Checks all the boxes. But yeah, Lane Kiffin, no longer the coach at Ole Miss, going to LSU, will not be coaching the Rebels throughout the rest of the season. And we'll see where that goes.
Was the official statement from Ole Miss, go on now and get?
I hope.
I really, like, I want one of those, graphics where it's like the official statement, go on now and get. And it's just a sign, by whoever the AD is.
Oh, man.
Whatever.
The first playoff game is going to hit so hard when the amount of signs that.
Oh, my gosh.
Just through
because
the roof.
Ole Miss is going to the playoff. They're not going to get the bye. They're going to get a home game. Mm-hmm. In all likelihood. In all likelihood, Ole Miss is going to get a home playoff game. That place is going to be rocking. And I'll be honest, that's one place you don't want to go. Mm-mm. You do not want to go on the road to
last
Oxford
year,
right now.
Lane Kiffin will be watching the playoffs at home.
There you go. Got him. The Rivalry Podcast is part of the Varsity Network from Learfield and the River Podcast Network from River Radio Ministries.
New episodes out every Monday.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening right now, and follow on social media at RivalPod and RivalPod.com.
And if you like what you hear, share with a friend so they can listen too.